Hey guys and gals, Kevin, your budget travel guy here, and just wanted to give you an update about something about this van 2.0, the $500 van that I bought and showed you in a previous video a few issues I was going to have to deal with. And the question was, would this $500 van be dependable? So here's an update on one of those issues and why you cannot trust dealerships and mechanics a lot of times when you have an issue, and why you need to gain a little bit of this knowledge yourself, even if you come from a background where you never dealt with cars and trucks and auto repairs before.
Hello.
Hey man, what's up?
No, hello. What about you?
I was just going to bend your ear for a second.
Okay, go ahead, bend it.
That minivan, did you take it to a garage or did you take it to the dealership about that ABS brake thing?
Garage.
Because I remembered you said they quoted you like $2,000 and told you everything was bad.
Yeah.
Did they actually put it on a machine and test it, or what did they do?
He was putting it on a machine, and he said he put it on a machine to see if he could determine what was going on, and I thought he said when they were trying to check to see what code it was that it was getting on the ABS, that he said when he put it on the machine, it was like showing 5 volts, 5 volts, 5 volts, 0.
Yeah.
5 volts, 5 volts, 0. 5 volts, 5 volts. And he said that means the board was bad.
That means the board was bad, and that's why it was so expensive, yeah. Because see,
Well, that's pretty much it.
when I plugged my little $75 tester over there with you, and I told you it was showing a code off that rear wheel, I came back and bought the rear wheel sensor, which is nothing but a cable that plugs in on each end. Yeah. So a $22 cable and the ABS light went out.
Oh, nice. Well, that's probably what it was.
I think I would avoid that mechanic in the future.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't want to mess with it or something. I don't know.
But yeah, if you'd handed the guy, if you'd written the guy a check, he'd have replaced a box that didn't need replaced. But you got to wonder what kind of equipment he's using when I'm using a cheap Amazon engine code reader that'll also read ABS codes. Now, we're going to start up the minivan. Of course, when you turn it on, all of the lights are on, just like your vehicle, just like any vehicle. Every light comes on and stays on for a couple of seconds as a test. So you know that bulbs aren't burned out, or some previous owner didn't take a bulb out or do something like that. So when you start your vehicle, you want all of these engine lights and brake lights and warning lights to come on, and after a couple of seconds, they will go out. That is normal. But here we go. You can see the ABS light, the yellow one, and everything is out now. So you can see everything is just like it's supposed to be. I drove 30 or 40 miles after putting this cable on yesterday. Everything is just fine with it. So let's get into some details about this potential repair and what this could mean to you, especially if you have a more expensive van that you would consider having an expensive repair done on by a dealership or an independent mechanic. Now, you heard my conversation with my buddy about the estimate, what they told him about the ABS when he took it in, had it put on the machine, that they were telling him the whole system was blown out and it was going to cost him $2,000. And you're probably thinking, dude, this is a van he sold to you for $500, so of course he wasn't going to have it fixed. Well, first of all, this was several years back. And second of all, forget about what I paid for the van. This is a couple $1,000s, touch it up, $3,000 or $4,000 on some of these car lots. But what if this had been a $10,000 or $12,000 van or a $15,000 van? Would he or would you have gone ahead with that $2,000 repair that wasn't needed, that was able to be repaired for about $25, a $25 part? Because people do it every day, not just with ABS repairs, but with other things. They may be told they need a computer when they don't need a computer. There's all kinds of different things that go on that you can get quoted for. Sometimes it's because the mechanic is simply dishonest. Sometimes it's because the mechanic is just lazy and he just throws you the worst case scenario quote out there. And sometimes it's because the mechanic is incompetent. And it's that simple. And I see people again, in forums and groups on the internet all the time, and especially with a woman asking a question about, how do I check this? What should I look for before I buy the van? Or I'm interested, I found this van I think I want, what should I do? And the answer from all of these self-appointed gurus is take it to a competent mechanic to have it checked out. How are you supposed to know, if you've never dealt with that mechanic or with that garage before, whether they're competent or not? How is the lady or the man asking that question that doesn't have a lot of experience with this stuff supposed to know if the mechanic is competent or not? You're not going to. And I can tell you from experience with stuff with mechanics I've used over the years, sometimes mechanics can be great for a while and then they turn into being lousy mechanics or lousy garage owners. And maybe it's because they're in a bad relationship, their marriage is breaking up. Maybe they have outside stress all of a sudden due to something's going on, and they have pressure with money from business that they're having trouble paying their bills. All of these things can play into the type of service that you get on a particular day. And I have seen it happen. I have had it happen to me with garages or with a mechanic that I have a long relationship with, and something changes and I end up having to go and basically find someone else. And going through that process of finding someone else usually means I'm going to have to go through a couple of lousy ones or a couple of liars, maybe not to the $2,000 extreme. But the beauty now, in this wonderful time of technology that we live in, if you use it for something other than playing Bubble Bobble, is that you can look up the answers to a lot of things. And maybe not the exact answer, but you can get close and you can do it quick. And with vehicles, you can find out if the problem that you're dealing with is a common problem. And if it is, if there's a common solution, most of the time there is. Sometimes it's one of those issues that can have you chasing ghosts, and you have 15 people coming and telling you 15 different things they tried that worked for them on a repair. But that's going to be one of those oddball repairs that happen, that if you take it to a mechanic, he's doing the same thing. He's just replacing parts until either he gives up or you run out of money, whichever comes first. So I don't want to sound like I'm some hater of mechanics, because I'm not. There are some really great mechanics out there. I have had a couple for years at a time over the years. And I'm sure I will run into more in the future. But I've also had my share of lousy ones for whatever reason. So you need to double check what you're being told. And that's easy to do with the internet. Or find someone with more experience in whatever it is than you that you can talk to, and maybe you find that person in a group somewhere if it's somebody that you don't know personally. Not some know-it-all that just wants to give an answer so they can feel important, but somebody that's actually been through the situation that you are dealing with. Because that is how you cut your learning time with anything. You find someone more experienced that has already been through whatever it is, and you learn from them so you don't make the mistakes that they made. And that is how you accelerate your time on learning to do a van build, or learning how to travel for less money, or building your own business, or building a deck onto your house, or almost anything else in life. Because the things I know, if you think I created them all myself, I'm going to let you go ahead and believe that. But it really didn't happen that way. It's things I picked up from different people along the way. That's what I did with work over the years. That's what I do with this over the years. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to learn. I'm interested in different things that go wrong with different vans that people have. Vans I don't own, because sometimes it's something I can use to help someone else out that I run into on the road having problems. And also because I may end up with that particular vehicle one day. And it'll come back, oh, this, you know. So I'm always trying to file information like that away. And then I try to share it in things like that group of minivan videos I did on the different brands, because there's certain generations, certain years essentially, of the same brand of minivan that you kind of want to stay away from, because there are particular known issues. Now, most of the people that have those vans may never encounter that issue, but it's something that there's a higher percentage of. And if it's something horrible that 1 out of every 4 is going to have to deal with, you've got 3 out of 4 owners of that van telling you you're an idiot, and whatever it is overblown because they haven't encountered it yet. But I don't want to be the owner of 1 out of 4 that's going to cause me a major headache or a major amount of money to repair somewhere down the road. So I can sit and brag and go, oh, well, I knew all along. Well, I didn't know all along. Like I said in that first video, I was 99% sure that replacing that cable would solve this ABS problem, because I've been through it before. Not necessarily on this van, not on a Dodge product, but I've seen it happen before. I've had to replace it on other vehicles that I've had before. So it's not a big deal. And I'm sure the whole setup fails on some vehicles, but to be honest, I've never seen it happen. So I thought that was a pretty lame excuse from the mechanic to begin with. So if you have a vehicle that you have something that you're facing this kind of money on, get a second opinion, and don't go to the second mechanic and tell him what the first mechanic said. That's not the way to do it. And the same thing if you're looking at a particular vehicle, spend a little time looking this stuff up online if there's an issue that this has. Because it's all right to buy a used vehicle that has an issue, as long as it's an issue that you can deal with, one that you can solve easily and inexpensively.